Welcome to this quick introduction video about our first event, Revival Tournament. In this video, I will briefly discuss the tournament format and bracket, killer pick and bans, map pick and bans, how the balancing works and what we are trying to achieve with it, and finally, introducing the topic around chests, which includes new offerings and item rules. Revival Tournament features a double elimination bracket. It lasts from its opening weekend, the 4th and 5th of July, to the grand finale taking place on the 9th of August. Double elimination means that all teams begin playing in a higher bracket, and if they lose their matchup, descend to the lower bracket, where they get one more chance to continue competing. 12 teams have been invited to participate. This number might seem a bit odd at first, and it was chosen purely based on scheduling limitations. With 12 teams in our roster, we cannot have all start in round 1, meaning 4 lucky contenders will skip the opening weekend and will only begin playing in round 2. Whoever gets to be these lucky few, as well as all the matchups of round 1, will be decided purely by chance. Once matchups are guaranteed, before we go into any of the upcoming rounds, versus channels on our Discord server will be generated where the pick and bans will commence. This includes killers and the maps they will be played on, and this process works as follows. There are 29 killers in the pool. Teams will take turns banning and picking killers and maps. A coin flip will decide the order, and the winner of the coin flip becomes Team A. In round 1, the matchups consist of best of 3s. Team A and B ban 6 killers in alternating order, leaving 17 killers left in the pool. Now, Team A pick their first killer, and Team B follow. Now, in alternating order, teams pick 2 more killers each, and they will be thrown into a pool. Of these 4 killers, 1 is randomized and becomes the tiebreaker set. Maps follow a similar procedure. The team that selected the killer gets to eliminate the first of the 3 maps, and after that, the opposing team picks 1 map of the remaining 2 that is to be played. For the tiebreaker set, the map is also randomized. Best of 5s and best of 7s feature not only primary pick and bans, but secondary and tertiary. In both variations, teams ban 3 each during the primary and secondary ban phase, while in best of 7s, tertiary bans feature 1 more ban by each team before tertiary picks occur. This summarizes our pick and ban phase, and we hope to see a fun variety for players and viewers. Now the balancing and how it works. Balancing refers to the loadouts survivors and killers may equip for their trial. That includes perks, offerings, items, and add-ons. All are completely optional, but for obvious reasons, firmly recommended. Our balancing aims to achieve a similar hook stage average for every killer in the 6 to 10 range, which does not mean either side cannot get lucky and outperform this range. As previously mentioned, there are 29 killers in the pool, each with individual balancing, but many with overlapping restrictions. Let's invite the Wraith as our special guest to visualize how balancing works. First of all, there's a general balancing tab that displays rules every killer and survivor must follow in every trial. These are perks that are considered to affect the game in a way that reduces survivor-killer interaction or are too strong otherwise. Next, every killer is subject to a tier they are put into. These are not necessarily dependent on killer tier lists and power rankings, but rather how well these killers do in a competitive environment and what restrictions need to be in place to put every killer at roughly the same level. There are 5 tiers that house all 29 killers. The Wraith is in tier 3, so those are the rules he and his potential victims have to listen to. Finally, individual balancing. Now that we have added restrictions from the general tab and the tier 3 tab, the Wraith, just like any other killer, now also has his own individual balancing. These individual balancing tabs follow the exact same structure for every killer. At the top, we can see what maps he plays on, then what add-ons he is not allowed to run, whether there are any individual perks he is specifically not allowed to use, and what offerings he must burn. After that, we can see the rules the survivors must abide by if they are about to load into a game against the Wraith. In his case, survivors are not allowed to use the perk head-on. Then, a pool of items is on display, of which the survivors may choose 1 of each. As a reminder, any firecracker does not mean you may take 3 different ones. You may only use 1 firecracker, but it does not matter which one. Last but not least, you can see the 4 offerings the survivors must burn. Once we have added the general, the tier 3, and the Wraith balancing tabs, we have all the rules we need to create loadouts appropriate for an exciting Wraith set up ahead. If you're a veteran in the competitive community, be it player or viewer, You're probably very familiar with these rules and have seen other events feature similar rules the past half decade. However, this is not where this presentation video ends, as we are introducing new mechanics too, regarding items. Besides toolboxes, medkits, flashlights, firecrackers, there are other items that are severely underused in tournaments. The Fog Vial has only recently found its way into competitive Dead by Daylight, as it is also the latest addition to the item pool in DBD itself. This item will be allowed to be used against most killers, but keep an eye out for individual balancing. Killers like the Spirit suffer too drastically under it, meaning it stays banned against her. There are still two other items that have practically never seen use because they have never been allowed, as they are considered simply too weak to the point where nobody will use these items regardless. But picture you are playing against one of the tier 4 or 5 killers, where you already struggle with heavy restrictions. Would you not want to use anything that might help you? And this is why maps and keys are officially allowed to be used in Revival Tournament. While you still absolutely cannot use keys to open the hatch, a skeleton key might help you track your teammate's aura when you are on a mission to take a hit in the nick of time. A map grants you temporary windows of opportunity, as well as lets you place down beacons that grant the effect of visionary in the area. I understand these effects are laughable compared to the items you see get the most use, for good reason, but you might as well take advantage of them if you have nothing else. Last but not least, chests are allowed to be opened. There are a handful of perks whose effects are activated upon chests being opened, Apocalyptic Ingenuity and Moment of Glory to name a few. These perks are allowed against every killer in our pool, and I can see them come to good use thanks to the shiny coin that every survivor team may equip if the restrictions are tremendously limiting. Still, the items from the open chests may not be looted or used. Chests are only there to be opened, and hey, another use of the key. This explains everything you need to know as a player or a curious viewer to understand what is allowed against which killer. If you also want a detailed look into our rulebook, it is linked down in the description. We are introducing a new way to penalize rule violations, which makes it even more important that you familiarize yourself with the rulebook. Thank you for watching. We look forward to an exciting event.